I'd like to begin our practice today by sharing with you a sentiment of loving kindness. And this is the little painting I did. There's some swirlies, pinks and purples and blues. This one reads, "May I dance my strengths. May I dance my strengths." I'm just going to take a minute and let that sink in. May I dance my strengths. Take a deep breath and arrive to your practice today. Turn your gaze inward if that feels comfortable to you, and take some deep breaths as your body settles in to this practice. On Wednesdays, we read a book called The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. This is the writing and the interpretation of the oral tradition of Shantideva's teachings. Shantideva was an 8th century monk in India at a Buddhist university. He was a student with hundreds, if not thousands, of other monks. And he was kind of a solo practitioner, is my understanding of the legend. He spent a lot of time in sacred solitude. He didn't really participate in the student activities. He sort of wandered in his own way, in his own time, and really tried to integrate the Buddha's teachings in his own life. And when challenged, he shared this whole new perspective that is now this book, The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. It's been translated several times. And when you think about, this is from the 8th century, it has survived and is relevant today as it was way back when. And for a couple of years now, we've been going through this book. We're on the 9th chapter, and we've been exploring the cultivation of wisdom. And I've been jumping around a little bit because there's a lot of traditional language, traditional Buddhist language. The translations I find very challenging, and they are some of which are beyond my scope as a Buddhist practitioner. Not only that, but I am endeavoring to use this book and this wisdom as further application and expansion for the practice and the journey of recovery. And one of the things in this particular chapter on the cultivation of wisdom has been his insistence on recognizing emptiness and what emptiness is. From no thing, everything has arisen. And what Shantideva didn't know in the 8th century, that science knows, and I use the word knows sort of loosely because there's so much about the universe and how we came to be that we don't know. What we do know is that 14 billion years ago, the universe was dense and hot. And what happened, people call it the Big Bang, but who knows? We don't actually know. Suddenly, something happened, and over billions of years, galaxies formed, stars, planets, life on Earth happened. Billions of years in the making. From nothing came something. And emptiness, for me anyway, is the space in which things arise. So even when the space appears like there's nothing in it, that may be true. And the truth is, something is emerging in that space of emptiness. Furthermore, Shantideva has been teaching us and guiding us that what we see is so much more than what we see. So, for instance, a table, my table that my computer sits on, and my mug of tea and various other trinkets. It is a table, and yet it's so much more. It was a tree, and that tree was a seed, and that seed belonged to another tree, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. The traces of this table in a tree, in a seed, can go back for thousands and thousands, millions of years in different kinds of iterations, in different kinds of manifestations. And so this table isn't just a table, it's connected to so much more. And that's really what Shantideva is saying. And why he's saying it is because the mind that human beings possess has this capacity and this habit energy to get fixed and fixated on its perceptions. And I think you've all had this experience, but have you ever had, and I'll just pose it as a question, have you ever had an experience where you encounter someone and the way they greet you lands in your ears as a little harsh, a little off-putting, and immediately the mind is like, oh my God, they're mad at me. I've done something wrong. And the next thing you know, the mind is spinning a story of what we've done wrong. They looked at me the wrong way. They had a weird tone about them. They had a weird look. And the mind has this capacity to get stuck on that image, spin a story, tell the story over and over again to the point that we think that that's actually what's really happening. And then maybe we have the courage to ask the person, hey, I had this encounter with you a couple of days ago that was really off and it's been bugging me. Is something going on between us or whatever it is? And then you discover something completely outside of your imagination has been going on with this individual. And worse, it has nothing to do with you. Have you had anything like that happen before? It's a very human thing. And what Shantideva was trying to identify all those centuries ago is that storytelling, those perceptions, and the way the mind just clamps down and fixates on them can be a source of real suffering, real discomfort, real confusion for us. And so to recognize that there's other things going on, that yes, this person had a weird look, but unless they tell me what that is directly, I have no idea what's going on with this person. I don't have to insert my insecurities, my thoughts, my fears into the situation. I don't have to pour myself into the emptiness, into this unknown space. I can let it just be mysterious. I can let it be empty. I can let it be unknown until I know, and I may never know. But I can't do that if I'm not practicing. It's hard to do because there's something within the being human that's just like, no, I've got to fill that empty space. I got to know. And so I'm going to share with you a couple of verses that Shantideva shared that I really love because it comes down to me and you, but I'll just speak in the first person. Me as me, Julia. Who am I? What is this I that I'm so attached to? I have to question the image that I'm trying to project. Is the image of me really me? Who is this I? Shantideva writes, if there were a truly existent I, it would make sense to be afraid of certain things. But since there is no truly existent I, who is there to be afraid? That's a really profound question. And I will add, for me, it's a little spiritually bypassing. And the reason why I say that is there is an I in me. There is a me that is afraid of certain things. And it's okay that I'm afraid. Like that emotion is an emotion that I experience by being human. But where I agree with Shantideva is, do I let my fear be the driver of my life? Do I let the fear become who I am? And when I ask myself that question, sometimes the answer is yes. And that's where I begin my work. Why am I so afraid? Why am I letting this fear govern everything about my life? He writes, the teeth, hair, or nails are not the eye, nor are the bones or the blood. The mucus and phlegms are not the eye, nor are the lymph or pus. The body's fat or sweat are not the eye, nor are the lungs or liver. None of the other organs is the eye, nor are the excrement or urine. The flesh or skin are not the eye, nor are the body's warmth or winds. The space element of the body is not the eye, nor are any of the six consciousnesses. So, all of these things that he's pointing to do not define the I that is me. They are the details that decorate the I, the me. But I am so much more than these decorations. And why this is relevant for the journey of recovery is for this reason and this reason alone, at least for me. And that is that there is a strong social narrative regarding recovery and negative habit energy that keeps the light and the attention on the worst of my behaviors, on the worst of my methods of coping, on the worst of my confusions. And maybe it's because these things have caused harm and hurt to me and others. And that is true. And not the whole truth. Because the truth is, by keeping a glaring light fixed on the sum of the worst things I've done keeps in the dark all the things that I've done well and continue to do well. The truth of me is the bad stuff and the good stuff. And to over identify in one or the other is a falsity. And so it is an invitation to go beyond and to remember that some of my maladaptive coping is a legacy that's breathing and coming alive through me. And I can tell you for certain that some of this legacy is connected to my dad. And his legacy was connected to his dad, my grandfather, whom we called Pa. And Pa's legacy was connected, I'm certain, to his dad, and so on, and so on, and so on. And energetically, these maladaptive patterns, these ways of being, these survival skills, all of it get passed down, handed down, and now they are manifest in me. But they are not me. And so the part of me that has cultivated some awareness can create some space between this me that has this incorruptible bodhicitta, this incorruptible heart. And I can look at all of this legacy from all of my ancestors and all the way down, including me. And I can see that and I go, yes, there it all is. And there's so much more. But I can't do this if I don't create some space to see it. And that's the idea a little bit, for me anyway, of working with emptiness, working with the space to be able to see it all. See the way I judge, see the way I make excuses, see the way I tell white lies because I'm self-protecting, see the ways I'm honest, see the ways I'm brutally honest and unskillful. I could go on and on. I can't see any of it if I'm not creating space. So let's just take a few moments of silence. And in the emptiness that we've created here, in the space that we've created here, let me present a question. Who are you? Who are you? And I'll leave you with a very quick teaching about this. So there was a preacher who approached a Buddhist master and said, so help me understand this perspective of the I, the emptiness of it. And the Buddhist master said, okay, so when you die, your bones return back to the earth and become the earth. The preacher said, yes. Okay. And so you believe that when you die, your spirit or your soul goes to heaven. And the preacher said, yes. And the Buddhist master said, okay, that's great. Now, my question then is, when you die, where do you go? Who are you? And let me reassure you, in the spaciousness of this question, it is so okay to have the answer be quick with, I don't know, or I have no idea. That may be scary, and it's still okay. So let's just take a moment to breathe and allow this question the space to wander around the mind and the heart. No need to find the answer, just let it be. Today with a dedication of merit, and I'd like to bring you into a traditional dedication whenever we talk about Shantideva. So I'd like to invoke Chenrezig, Buddha. And this is a particular image of the Buddha with countless hands of compassion radiating all around your body. So imagine, if you can, at the level of the heart, a bright, radiant sun. And from that bright, radiant sun is a hand radiating more sunlight, more warmth, just as far as the eye can see. Countless, countless hands radiating the warmth and brightness of loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity. And this light isn't anything anyone needs to earn. This light is an extension of who you've always been and who you shall continue to be. It's part of the universal consciousness. It's already who you are. Shantideva was very famous for having said, for as long as suffering, misery, discomfort exists, for as long as living beings who experience this suffering, misery, discomfort exist, may I remain to help dispel the misery of the world. And let me tell you, friends, that's a big aspiration, right? And so, one of the ways to simplify this aspiration is to consider that you yourself are the whole world, all in and of yourself. And so, if you focus on healing yourself, understanding yourself, liberating yourself from negative habit energy, the things that are so destructive and harming, the things that bring misery into your life, the ways you sabotage your goodness, if you can address even a little bit of that, the positive imprint you leave on the world is profound. One small thing, one small ripple to extend far and wide. This is what we are all capable of. And I want to thank you for demonstrating it with such impeccability in this community, day in and day out. Thank you for your presence here. It is bright and warming. May you take that out into your day. You never know who you might just save. Have a wonderful day, friends. We'll see you next time. Namaste.